When I first started teaching English, I had some advice from an old hand who told me, yeah, if you get some bad students or a bad student, disruptive student, cut them out, get rid of them, find an excuse not to teach them because they'll infect the rest of the class or the classes and you'll have more trouble and in the end everybody quits. And I sort of took that as like, yeah, I guess that's good advice, but I'm not completely sure. Yes, I mean, there's levels of what we used to call misbehavior, but levels of action that if a student is causing a threat to another kid, or bullying, or biting, or some kind of endangerment, yeah, obviously you can't have that. You've got to exclude one of the students. But it doesn't. Very very rarely does it get to that stage. What actually happens is you get a kid who's kind of misbehaving or doing disruptive things, not following, not I wouldn't want to say orders, but not following what everybody's doing in the class. In these more enlightened times, I would say that often what olden times we would call misbehaviour, often is kind of a cry for help, or they're misbehaving because they don't understand something, or they're not getting something from the teacher, or there's some deep reason why they're messing around. And if you can find that and address that, you'll find that the misbehaviour stops. That's all well and good. You've got to make a living and you've got to make money, but it's a balance. You have to decide how you do that. But I was just going to give a couple of examples. There used to be a girl who used to steal pencils and pens and erasers and stuff, and put them in her bag and take them home. And it was quite clear she was doing that, and you'd confront her and say, "Hey, don't do that." She'd be embarrassed, but she kept doing it. I had a word with her mum. Her mum was deeply embarrassed and was like almost to the stage where they were going to quit. But then I don't know what happened. Basically, she outgrew it in a way, or maybe the talking to from her mother did something. But more, I think it was just myself and my wife who were teaching her at the time. We just thought, let's not worry about it. She knows that we know, and we know that she's doing it. And at the end of the month, her mother would bring back the pencils and erasers and all this sort of stuff that she was nicking. And she kind of grew out of it. She stopped doing it. Now, she's one of our best students. And she's been with us, and now she's in high school. And she doesn't do any of that nonsense. And she's one of the best speakers of English. So it was an emotional or a developmental problem beyond my ken, beyond my knowledge. But things worked out, and I'm glad she's still with us. There's other examples. There was a boy, similar. What was his problem? I forget what his problem was, but he just would not pay attention, would be running around to the point where you think, I think we should just get rid of him, exclude him from the class because he's disrupting everything. But he sort of grew out of it. He got through, once he got to puberty and beyond. Now he again is one of the excellent speakers. Often the ones that misbehave and mess around end up being the better speakers, or there's some pep to them. There's something about them that they couldn't quite knuckle down to the regular class, and given a bit of patience from the teacher, they'll come good. So that's my message to you: is be patient, and as an eikaiwa or a private, essentially a tutor or a small class tutor, you have the space to do something more than just forcing conformity. And the payoff comes maybe a few years later when you see, wow, this kid's really learned something, and they become really good students, and it's very rewarding to see the change and to see that you're making a difference, especially for kids that otherwise would be branded as being troublemakers or difficult, or I think that's often what happens in Japanese schools. Not only Japanese schools, but especially Japanese schools. The teachers just don't have time for troublemakers, and they get branded as having some kind of problem and excluded, and often it's just developmental. They just need a bit of time, a bit of attention, and maybe just sort of back off a bit. So that's just something to consider. And if you do that, if you do manage to you know, get a little gem from these people, they'll become a great customer for you. There's always a business side to it, but you know, and it's very, very rewarding. So be patient with the tough kids. They can end up being the best ones, being your best students. Okay, peace. Have a good one. Go England against Norway on Sunday. Oh my goodness. I think England can beat Norway. Norway could beat England, but I'm rather glad that we're playing Norway, not Brazil. Ask me on Monday if I still think the same. Okay, see ya.